In this video, I talked to DJ Phantasy and he gives me 5 tips for the music industry. Let's jump in. Hey, it's Grahame from Deck Transmission, and today on The Big Question I welcome the legend that is DJ Phantasy. He's been around the scene for 30 years. He's just wrote a book, 3 Generations Deep, and it's literally about his life, how he became DJ Phantasy. It also was released 30 years to the day that he took the name DJ Phantasy from this famous rave in Reigate. He actually speaks about it in the video. So let's not waste any more time. He gives you tips on how to make it in the music industry. Let's go and check it in.
Hey, this is DJ Phantasy, and I'm here today on Data Transmission to give you my 5 industry tips. This is just 5 of, there's loads, but just narrowed it down to 5, which I think are quite important. Also got the book. I talk about a lot of this stuff here in the book, so get a chance. It's out now, 3 Generations Deep. Going through my 30 years in the industry. So tip number one is branding. It's really important that you find a good name. You think about the way you brand it and get it out there. Get a good designer to create you a good logo and everything like that. I've had many different things over the years that I've done. Actually, if you look at some of the brands behind, these are some of the brands that I co-own. Obviously, I don't co-own Sennheiser or New Era. They're people that work with us. But yes, branding is very, very important. And see me, when I chose my name Phantasy, like, it was related to an event on September the 30th 1989, which is 30 years ago, and there's a whole story about that which I talk about in my book. But so when someone asks me, well, where'd you get your name from, I have a story behind it. There's a meaning behind it. I didn't just sit there one day and go, oh, I'm going to call myself Phantasy. There's actually a story behind it. Obviously back then Phantasy was probably more of a name related with the whole rave scene and all that back in the day. So it was it was a good thing. More recently, the branding of the Harry Shotter Show, and obviously SAS. Obviously the label, Easy Records, Showtime Music, and all of that. All of these are like great brands within the music, and they've had a lot of work put into them in the background. So that's one good thing. Think of a great name, and also get the branding right and get it out there, and just make sure people know about your branding. Tip number 2 is you've got to get out there and meet people. That's very, very important, because this industry is like a community. Like, whatever music you're into, whether you're into drum and bass or house or whatever, any kind of music, dubstep, whatever, it's basically a community-based music. So go out there, meet the people, meet promoters, meet fellow DJs, meet like-minded people that basically can influence you and help you grow within the industry, and give you some advice and some help. Do you know what I mean? That's really important. So tip number 3 is you've got to, if you want a career in music, you have to treat it as a business. Again, in the book, I didn't really treat it as a business in the early days. It was, basically a load of friends all got together and just basically partied, and it was amazing just being able to get in for free and just be able to party with your friends. I'm listening to this amazing music. It was only later on I kind of got the business aspect of it, but it's very, very important that you understand it's a business, and you have to think of it like that. As much as you've got friends and everything in the scene and in the industry, they're businessmen or businesswomen as well, and you have to treat yourself. If you don't take yourself serious as a business, how can you expect anyone else to take you serious as a business? So treat it as a business. That's really important. Tip number 4 would be make music. It really can help get you out there. The best way I describe music at the moment is when I make a tune and I put it out, that's like my business card going in to basically everybody's phones or mobile devices or on their laptops or whatever coming out of their speakers. That's my business card. So what better way to sort of get into to get to touch people and to get to communicate with people and be involved in their lives than basically make music that they listen to. Now, if making music you feel like you're hitting a brick wall, don't worry about it. Keep going, keep going. I've been doing this for 30 years and I'm still learning today. Like, I'm still learning. Anyone who thinks they know it all, you're making a big mistake. You just never stop learning. That's one of the beautifulest things about this business, is the ability to just keep learning. I mean, I'm even, something we're learning today is about like the whole visual aspects and how the TPs link up with the time coding, links up with the music and that. And, you know, it's a whole like new world for me. And you know, I'm kind of just soaking it up and trying to take it on board. But what I'm saying is like constantly learning. How can I make my music link up with this time code to produce something for you guys? So that's really important. Make music, even if you feel frustrated, just keep going, because you know what, if you keep mastering something, keep working at something, you will get it right at some point. And don't get frustrated, just keep going. And my final tip, number 5, is I think one of the most important ones really, is to stay humble. Because you've got to remember that the most important people in the whole of the music world, it's not the artists, it's not the managers, it's not the lighting guys or whatever, stage, and I love them all, don't get me wrong, it's the people, the public, the people that listen to the music. They are the most important people. And you just got to remember that any kind of level you get in this music industry is a blessing. You know, if you're at the top level, you know, be humble, because there's so many people that'd love to be there. Even people who are just starting out and you're getting your first few gigs, be humble. Don't let it go to your head, because I've always been a great advocate of this. This industry is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Yeah, so I always say to people, you can have a great year, you can have a great 2 years. It's about having a great career. And if you look at some of the legends out there, like people like Groove Rider, Fabio, Carl Cox, again, people I talk about in my book, and you know, they've had careers like over 30 years. You know, they were doing this way when it was all funk and rare groove, way back before the whole house thing kind of took off. So, and you know what, they're just lovely, humble people, and they have been their whole careers and that. So that's my rule number 5, is stay humble. You know, it will get you far, because people always remember like how you deal with them and how you meet them and everything like that. And if you're having a rubbish day, you know, everyone has a rubbish day, you know, it happens. Just try and put it to the back of your head when you meet people. Be cool in it. Just, hey, how are you? And even if you don't go like, yeah, big hug and everything, just be humble, be cool. Don't be stush. Keep it real. But yeah, so this is DJ Phantasy, and I'm here on Data Transmission, and I want to thank you so much for listening to my 5 industry tips. Remember, my book is out right now. It's available on my website, djphantasy.co.uk, where I will sign all the copies. You can get it on Amazon. They won't be signed on Amazon, but you can get it from Amazon. It's available. And also you can get it on Kindle as well. So it's available on Kindle. So yeah, this is DJ Phantasy. Peace.
What did you think of those tips? Drop your favourite in the comments below. I'd love to hear which ones your favourite was. Also, if you have your own tips for getting further in the music industry, please drop them in the comments below as well. I'd love to start this community. Thanks for all those that have commented on the last few videos. I really appreciate it. It's really helping growing the channel. So thanks a lot. I'm glad you're getting a load out of these videos, and I'm glad that we're now growing this community on YouTube. Thanks again for joining me this week. I've been Grahame Farmer. I'll see you next week. Also, there's a couple more videos here and here and here and here and here and here. If you want to carry on watching, that'd be great. Thanks. Bye.